The Inuit are an indigenous group of people who have lived for thousands of years in the harsh, icy environments of the Arctic, spanning regions from Alaska and Canada to Greenland. Their deep connection to the land and sea has shaped a culture rich in tradition, resilience, and respect for nature. In an environment where survival depends on understanding the rhythms of the earth, the Inuit have developed a wealth of stories that explain the mysteries of the world around them. These legends are more than folklore. They serve as guides to navigating the natural world, offering lessons on life, respect, and the unseen forces that inhabit the Arctic landscape. Let us dive into Inuit culture and uncover some of its most fearsome and mythical beings. Here are 15 creatures and demons from Inuit mythology and folklore. Qalupalik, the Sea Witch. Qalupalik is one of the most haunting figures in Inuit mythology, a being shrouded in mystery and terror. She is believed to have once been a human woman, but she succumbed to the icy depths of the Arctic Ocean and was transformed by its cold, dark embrace. Her appearance reflects this transformation. Her skin is an unnatural shade of green, tinged with the pallor of the sea, and her hair is a tangled mess of long strands that resemble seaweed. Her eyes are sunken and dark, hinting at the endless void of the ocean, while her nails have become as sharp as fish bones, perfect for snatching her prey. Qalupalik is known for lurking near the shorelines, particularly during low tide or when a heavy fog rolls in, obscuring visibility and disorienting the unwary. Her preferred targets are children who stray too close to the water's edge, drawn by curiosity or the temptation of adventure. Qalupalik uses a deceptive tactic to lure them closer. She hums a haunting melody that floats through the mist, wrapping itself around the minds of the young and innocent. Her song is entrancing, pulling children toward the water in a trance-like state. When they are near enough, she emerges from the shallows and grasps them with her long webbed fingers, dragging them into the depths where she keeps them as her eternal servants. The stories of Qalupalik serve as warnings to children to stay away from the dangerous, icy waters of the Arctic. Elders often recount tales of those who narrowly escaped her clutches, their lives forever changed by the terror of the encounter. However, there are certain protective charms that can repel her, such as amulets blessed by a shaman, which are believed to keep the Qalupalik at bay. She is also said to be unable to take a child who manages to escape her grip before being fully submerged in the water, causing her to retreat back to the ocean, empty-handed. The presence of Qalupalik serves as a stark reminder of the power and danger inherent in nature, especially in the unforgiving Arctic environment. Amarok, the lone wolf of the tundra. Amarok is not just a creature but a powerful symbol of the untamed wilderness in Inuit lore. He is described as a giant wolf who hunts alone, unlike his earthly counterparts that travel in packs. The legend of Amarok emphasizes his extraordinary size and strength, suggesting that he embodies the very spirit of the Arctic tundra. His fur is dark and thick, a stark contrast to the white snow, yet it shimmers faintly with the colors of the northern lights, hinting at his supernatural nature. His eyes glow with an ethereal light, illuminating the darkness as he stalks his prey. Amarok is a solitary hunter, and he targets those who are alone in the wilderness. His presence is often accompanied by an unnatural coldness that can freeze even the bravest hearts. Hunters and travelers fear his howl, a chilling sound that seems to penetrate the very soul and reverberates through the frozen landscape. However, despite his ferocity, Amarok is not a mere beast. He is also a guardian of the natural balance. There are stories of him sparing the lives of those who stand their ground and show respect for the land, recognizing their bravery and granting them his blessing. These individuals often return with newfound strength and wisdom, their spirits more attuned to the wild. Amarok is honored in many Inuit traditions, with hunters leaving offerings of food or carved talismans at the edges of the forest or tundra in hopes of gaining his favor. To see his tracks is considered a sign to retreat, while hearing his howl can be interpreted as both a warning and a call to remember the true power of the wilderness. His legend serves as a reminder that the Arctic is a place where humans must tread carefully, showing respect for the spirits that govern the land. Torngarsuk, the shaman's spirit guide. Torngarsuk is one of the most enigmatic spirits in Inuit shamanistic beliefs, a being who exists in a realm that straddles the physical and spiritual worlds. He is also considered a god of the sea, death, and underworld. Torngarsuk is an ancient spirit, predating human understanding of the land, and is said to be a guardian and guide for those who seek to communicate with the otherworldly. He is said to be the leader of the Tornat, which is a group of protective gods in Inuit mythology. Torngarsuk is not bound by a single form. Instead, he manifests in different shapes depending on the needs and intentions of the shaman who calls upon him. He may appear as a mighty bear with eyes that burn like fire, representing power and protection, or as a great bird whose wings seem to stretch across the entire sky, symbolizing freedom and far-reaching guidance. At times, Torngarsuk's form is that of a shadowy figure, barely visible at the edge of vision, indicating caution or hidden dangers. The relationship between shamans and Torngarsuk is one of respect and careful negotiation. While calling upon him can bring healing powers or protection against malevolent spirits, it also carries the risk of drawing his wrath if his gifts are misused. Rituals to summon Torngarsuk are conducted far from the eyes of the uninitiated, in sacred spaces where the spirit world and the material world are closely connected. Offerings are made, and chants are sung to entice him to reveal himself. To see Torngarsuk as a bear signifies that the shaman is favored with great power, while encountering him as a bird indicates that the spirit is carrying the shaman's prayers to distant realms. If Torngarsuk appears as a flicker or shadow, it is a sign that the shaman must tread cautiously, as the spirit world is out of balance. Torngarsuk is revered and feared in equal measure, for while he can bring immense power to a shaman, he can also withdraw his favor, leaving the shaman vulnerable to spiritual dangers. His presence underscores the delicate balance required in the relationship between humans and the spirit world, reminding shamans of the respect they must show to the spirits they summon. Ijiraq the Deceiver. The Ijiraq are elusive and dangerous spirits that dwell on the border between the world of the living and the spirit realm. Their origin is steeped in tragedy, as they are believed to be the spirits of hunters who wandered too far from their communities and became lost in the unforgiving Arctic wilderness. Over time, their humanity faded, and they were transformed into beings of confusion and deceit. As shapeshifters, Ijiraq can take on any form, appearing as animals, humans, or even objects, only to vanish when approached directly. Their true nature is impossible to discern, and they are known for their unsettling behavior, which includes appearing at the edges of one's vision or mimicking the voices of loved ones. The Ijiraq delight in leading travelers astray, using their powers to disorient and confuse. Those who encounter them often find themselves hopelessly lost, wandering in circles even though they are certain they have been traveling in a straight line. This creature is notorious for kidnapping children, hiding them, and then ultimately abandoning them. The Ijiraq feed on the fear and despair of the lost, gaining strength from the emotions of those they torment. However, there are tales of those who have managed to outsmart an Ijiraq by recognizing its true nature. In such cases, the spirit may offer a riddle, which, if answered correctly, allows the traveler to escape. Failure to solve the riddle, however, dooms the traveler to wander until they become one of the lost themselves. The Ijiraq are seen as reminders of the dangers of arrogance and ignorance. They teach that the Arctic is a place where the boundaries between reality and illusion can blur, and only those who remain vigilant and humble can hope to find their way through the endless white. Mahaha, the Frozen Terror. Mahaha is one of the more grotesque and frightening figures in Inuit mythology, known for his bizarre and sadistic manner of killing. He is often depicted as a thin, emaciated figure, with skin as pale and cold as ice. His long, bony fingers end in sharp, claw-like nails, which he uses to inflict a gruesome form of torture on his victims. Mahaha's hair hangs in frozen strands, and his eyes shine with a malicious, gleeful light that betrays his love for causing misery. What sets Mahaha apart from other demons is his peculiar method of killing. He tickles his victims to death. When Mahaha emerges from the snow, it is usually during the darkest and coldest parts of winter, when life seems to hang by a thread. He seeks out isolated individuals, approaching silently until he is close enough to strike. His touch is freezing, and his laughter echoes like the cracking of ice. As he tickles his victims, they are overcome with fits of laughter, unable to escape or fight back. Eventually, the cold takes hold and they freeze to death, their faces twisted into ghastly frozen smiles. Mahaha is not an invincible being, however. There is a story of a clever hunter who tricked him into walking onto a patch of thin ice. As Mahaha stepped onto the ice, it gave way under his weight, and he plunged into the freezing water, disappearing beneath the surface. Since then, he has not been seen, though his legend endures as a warning of the strange and terrible things that can emerge from the Arctic wilderness. The story of Mahaha serves as a chilling reminder of the fine line between life and death in the harsh Arctic, where even laughter can become fatal. Kujira, the whale demon. Kujira is no ordinary whale. It is a formidable demon that embodies the raw, untamed fury of the Arctic Ocean. Unlike other whales, Kujira is said to be a massive, monstrous being with eyes that glint like black stones, betraying a deep malevolence. Its body is covered in scars and strange markings, as though branded by the very forces of the sea. The stories of Kujira's origin vary, but many Inuit tales agree that it is a vengeful spirit, born from the anger of the ocean itself, seeking to punish those who show disrespect to the waters. This sea demon is known to appear when the balance of nature is disrupted, when hunters take more than they need, or fail to perform the rituals of gratitude that honor the spirit of the hunt. When Kujira emerges from the dark depths, it is often preceded by a sudden change in the weather. The sky grows darker, the wind picks up, and the waves begin to swell. As if from nowhere, Kujira's massive body will break the surface, creating a great splash that can capsize boats and drag hunters beneath the waves. The demon's goal is not merely to kill, but to teach a lesson, to remind humans that the sea is a powerful force that must be respected. Despite its immense power, there are stories of shamans who have attempted to bind Kujira, seeking to control the demon to guide their people to plentiful hunting grounds. One such tale tells of a shaman who used a powerful charm to trap the whale demon, only for Kujira to thrash against its bonds with such ferocity that it summoned a terrible storm, shattering the ice and causing the earth to tremble. In the end, the shaman was forced to release Kujira, recognizing that the demon could not be subdued without a dire price. The legend of Kujira serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of human arrogance and the need for humility when dealing with nature's spirits. Taqriaqsuit, the Shadow People. The Taqriaqsuit, or Shadow People, are among the most elusive and mysterious entities in Inuit folklore. They are described as beings that exist in a state of liminality, dwelling between the world of the living and the land of the dead. Unlike other spirits, the Taqriaqsuit are not easily seen. They appear only out of the corner of one's eye or as fleeting shapes that flit between the trees or just beyond the firelight. The Inuit regard these shadowy figures with a mixture of fear and respect, as they are not inherently malevolent, but their presence is unsettling and often seen as a bad omen. The Taqriaqsuit are known to follow travelers who journey alone through the Arctic night, especially during long, dark winters when the boundaries between the worlds seem to blur. When the Shadow People draw near, travelers might hear whispers carried on the wind or see shapes moving where no living creature should be. Some legends suggest that the Taqriaqsuit are the spirits of those who died without finding their way to the afterlife, lost souls who wander eternally. Others believe that they are ancient beings who have always existed in the hidden places of the world, guardians of the unseen. To avoid offending the Taqriaqsuit, the Inuit often leave small offerings, such as pieces of food or small tokens, when passing through remote areas known to be haunted by these shadowy beings. It is believed that speaking to them with respect can help ensure a safe passage, while ignoring them or showing fear might cause the Taqriaqsuit to lead the traveler astray, confusing their sense of direction and making it difficult to find their way back. The Taqriaqsuit serve as reminders of the unseen forces that inhabit the world, teaching the importance of humility and respect for the spirits of the land. Hey everyone, just a quick intermission here. I wanted to say thank you for watching this video. It really means a lot to me. Did you know that over 80% of you who are watching right now aren't subscribed to the channel? If you've enjoyed this content so far, it would be incredible if you could hit that subscribe button. It's a small gesture, but it really helps the channel grow and ensures that you won't miss any more of our fascinating stories we explore together. Also, if you're feeling generous, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, and share with anyone else who may enjoy it. Your support really does make a difference and keeps the content coming. Thanks again, and let's get back to the story. Akhlut, the sea wolf. The Akhlut is a powerful and versatile spirit in Inuit mythology, known for its ability to dwell in both the sea and on land. It is a shapeshifter that can transform from a massive wolf to a killer whale, embodying the duality of the Arctic environment. In its wolf form, the Akhlut prowls the shoreline, its keen eyes watching over the hunters who venture too close to the edge of the ice. It is said to be much larger than any normal wolf, with a thick coat of fur that shimmers like the waves. When it enters the water, the Akhlut transforms seamlessly into a killer whale, gliding through the icy depths with silent grace and incredible speed. The Akhlut is a guardian of both realms, representing the beautiful yet deadly nature of the Arctic. It is said to protect those who show respect for the sea, but it can also be merciless to those who are careless or disrespectful. When the tracks of a wolf are found leading to the ocean, Inuit hunters know to be cautious, for it is believed that the Akhlut is near. Legends tell of hunters who pursued a wolf across the ice, only to watch in astonishment as it leapt into the water and transformed into a killer whale before their very eyes. The Akhlut's dual nature makes it a symbol of balance, embodying the need to respect both the land and the sea. It is said that the spirit is sensitive to the thoughts and actions of those who encounter it. Kindness and humility are rewarded with protection, while arrogance or recklessness may provoke the Akhlut's wrath. Stories of encounters with the Akhlut often serve as lessons, teaching the Inuit to tread carefully when dealing with the forces of nature that govern their world. Kiviuq, the Eternal Wanderer. Kiviuq is one of the most celebrated figures in Inuit mythology, a legendary hero whose endless journey across the Arctic serves as a testament to the resilience and resourcefulness of the Inuit people. He is depicted as a man of great strength and cunning, whose adventures take him across frozen plains, turbulent seas, and even into otherworldly realms where spirits and mortals interact. His stories are numerous, each one recounting a different trial or encounter that tests his courage, wisdom, and determination to find his way back home. One well-known tale describes how Kiviuq was once pursued by a massive sea creature, a serpent that sought to devour him. Using his wits, Kiviuq fashioned a harpoon from a walrus bone and struck the creature in its only vulnerable spot, behind the eye. In another story, he was captured by a wicked shaman who transformed into a raven, binding Kiviuq with magic to keep him as a prisoner. However, Kiviuq's strong spirit and knowledge of shamanic songs allowed him to break free from the spell, using his voice to shatter the enchantment. Kiviuq's tales are more than mere stories. They are lessons embedded with cultural values and practical wisdom. They teach the importance of respecting the spirits that inhabit the world, of being resourceful and brave in the face of adversity, and of maintaining hope even when the path is difficult and uncertain. Kiviuq's journey is never truly finished, as each adventure adds to the tapestry of his legend, forever reminding the Inuit people of their own strength and connection to the land. Sassarq, the bringer of illness. Sassarq is a malevolent spirit known for bringing sickness and misfortune upon those who fall into its path. The Inuit believe that Sassarq is not a visible being, but rather a presence that lurks in places where the air feels heavy and the cold seems to seep into the bones. These are the regions where the balance of the spirit world has been disturbed and where Sassarq waits to strike. It is said that the spirit inhabits the winds or hides in dark crevices in the rocks, emerging without warning to lay its chilling touch upon the unsuspecting. The effects of Sassarq are sudden and severe. A person may be in good health one moment, and the next, they are overcome with a fever or debilitating weakness. The spirit feeds on the fear and despair of the afflicted, growing stronger as its victims weaken. Even experienced hunters and travelers are not immune, as Sassarq has a way of finding even the most prepared individuals in moments of vulnerability. To protect against Sassarq, shamans perform rituals to cleanse the air and drive the spirit away. Sacred songs are chanted, and offerings of food or tobacco are made to appease the spirits of the land and call upon their aid in combating the malevolent force. Sassarq's power is said to diminish in places where the spirit world is kept in balance and where respect is consistently shown to the natural and supernatural alike. The stories of Sassarq remind the Inuit of the importance of spiritual cleanliness and the dangers that lie in the unseen world, lurking just beyond the edge of perception. Aipaloovik, the drowned spirit. Aipaloovik is a fearsome and ominous spirit that embodies the dread of drowning and the merciless nature of the sea. Its name is spoken with caution among the Inuit, who view it as a harbinger of doom for those who venture onto the treacherous waters of the Arctic Ocean. Aipaloovik is described as appearing like a man, but his skin is pale as the moonlight and cold to the touch, resembling the frigid waters he calls home. His hair flows around him like strands of kelp, drifting weightlessly as if always submerged, and his eyes are hollow and empty, as though drained of life. The legends say that Aipaloovik lurks just beneath the surface, waiting patiently for the right moment to claim a soul. When the ice cracks underfoot, or a boat is suddenly overturned by a rogue wave, Aipaloovik is said to be near, his outstretched hands reaching to pull the unlucky into the icy depths. Once he has dragged a victim underwater, there is no escape. He takes them far below, where the sea is dark and silent. There, it is believed that the souls of the drowned become part of his realm, their voices forever silenced by the weight of the ocean. Despite his association with death, some Inuit stories regard Aipaloovik as a guardian spirit of the sea. For those who show respect to the waters and acknowledge the power of the ocean, Aipaloovik might choose to spare them, allowing them to return safely to land. Rituals to honor the sea are performed before setting out on a hunt or voyage, such as pouring fresh water into the ocean or offering a piece of seal meat. These acts are thought to placate Aipaloovik, acknowledging his dominion over the depths and seeking his favor. Aipaloovik's legend serves as a reminder of the harsh realities of the Arctic and the ever-present danger of the sea. He is not merely a spirit to be feared, but also respected, for his power is an expression of the ocean's unforgiving nature. Those who understand this relationship and act with the proper reverence may find themselves spared from his grasp, while the careless and arrogant are more likely to feel the icy pull of the drowned spirit. Kikiktak, the stone spirits. Among the seemingly lifeless stones and rock formations of the Arctic landscape, there exist spirits known as Kikiktak, who are believed to watch over the places they inhabit. These spirits do not possess the same kind of life as animals or humans, but are thought to be an ancient presence that embodies the energy of the earth itself. Kikiktak are described as guardians, who are neither inherently good nor evil, but who reflect the intentions and behavior of those who encounter them. They dwell in rocks and stones that seem to possess an unusual shape or arrangement, and their power is often felt in places where the land appears still and unchanged. Travelers and hunters who find themselves lost or in need may come across stones that feel different, radiating a peculiar warmth or giving off an energy that seems to draw them near. It is said that if a person leaves an offering, such as a carved figure, a piece of meat, or even a song sung aloud, the Kikiktak may choose to grant them safe passage or guide them toward game. The Kikiktak are not to be disturbed carelessly, however, as treating a sacred place with disrespect is thought to bring misfortune. Those who fail to recognize the presence of Kikiktak may find themselves disoriented, with their path becoming confused or even pursued by sudden storms that seem to rise out of nowhere. The Kikiktak are also known to appear in dreams, taking on forms such as birds or even human-like figures made entirely of stone. These spirits often offer warnings or advice, and their words are considered valuable, as they are thought to speak with the voice of the land itself. When passing through areas known to be sacred or home to the Kikiktak, it is customary for the Inuit to avoid disturbing the stones and to tread lightly, aware that the spirits of the earth are always watching. Nanurluk, the Great Polar Bear. Nanurluk is a legendary creature in Inuit mythology, a giant among polar bears with a reputation that strikes fear even in the bravest hunters. It is said that Nanurluk is not just a bear, but a spirit of the Arctic itself, an embodiment of the wild, untamed nature of the frozen wilderness. The beast is described as enormous, far larger than any ordinary polar bear, with fur so thick and white that it blends perfectly with the snow, making it nearly impossible to detect until it is too late. The very ground is said to tremble under Nanurluk's weight, and its roar can be heard echoing across the ice, a thunderous sound that fills the air with dread. Hunters who have attempted to slay Nanurluk have often met with failure, for the great bear possesses not only incredible physical strength, but also the spiritual power of the north. Arrows and spears bounce off its thick hide as if they were mere twigs, and it can shake off even the strongest blows with ease. The tales of Nanurluk serve as a reminder that some forces of nature are beyond human control, and that there are limits to what even the most skilled hunters can achieve. One of the most famous stories of Nanurluk involves a shaman who sought to prove his power by capturing the great bear. He called upon the spirits and used a powerful charm to bind Nanurluk, forcing it to lie still upon the ice. But as the shaman approached, the bear's eyes gleamed with a dangerous light, and with a mighty effort, Nanurluk broke free of the spell, striking down the shaman with a single powerful blow. From that day on, it was said that Nanurluk would never again tolerate humans in its territory, and those who encountered its tracks would turn back immediately, knowing that to challenge the great bear was to invite certain death. Nanurluk's legend serves as a symbol of the power and majesty of the Arctic wilderness. It reminds the Inuit to respect the natural world and to understand that not all of its forces can be subdued or controlled. The stories of the great polar bear also highlight the theme of humility, teaching that sometimes the wisest course of action is to acknowledge one's limitations and to live in harmony with the wild rather than trying to dominate it. Qivittoq, the outcast spirit. The Qivittoq represents the tragic transformation of those who, for various reasons, leave the safety and warmth of their communities to wander alone in the vast wilderness. These individuals are often driven away by shame, personal failure, or the need for solitude, and as they spend years in the isolation of the Arctic's unforgiving landscape, they are said to change in profound ways. Over time, they become more spirit than human, their skin growing pale, their limbs becoming gaunt, and their eyes taking on a haunted, faraway look, as though they have peered too long into the darkness. The Qivittoq are said to acquire abilities that ordinary people do not possess. They can move with remarkable speed and agility, running across the tundra like wolves, or scaling sheer ice cliffs with the ease of a mountain goat. However, these newfound abilities come at a cost. The longer the Qivittoq remain in the wilderness, the more they lose their humanity, until they eventually become something other, a spirit of the wild. This transformation is considered a kind of living death, a punishment for being unable to reconcile themselves with their past lives or the ways of their people. There are many tales of Qivittoq returning to the edges of their former villages, lurking at the border of firelight without ever crossing into it. They do not speak, and no one dares approach them, for the belief is that to do so would invite a similar fate upon oneself. The Qivittoq's existence serves as a poignant reminder of the social bonds that hold a community together and the dangers of living outside of these protective structures. It also speaks to the necessity of acceptance and the importance of finding one's place within the group, as those who cannot find this belonging are fated to wander alone in a world that is as cold and harsh as the spirits themselves. Nuliajuk, Sedna, the mother of the sea. Nuliajuk, more commonly known as Sedna, is a central figure in Inuit mythology and is revered as the goddess of the sea and all its creatures. Her tale begins with a young woman who was known for her beauty and stubbornness, refusing all suitors who came to seek her hand. Eventually, a mysterious stranger, cloaked in fine furs and bearing promises of comfort and wealth, came to court her. Despite her father's warnings, Nuliajuk agreed to leave her home and live with the stranger. However, once they reached his distant island, she discovered that he was not a man at all, but a shape-shifting bird demon who had deceived her. Life on the island proved to be harsh, and Nuliajuk was treated cruelly. Desperate and filled with regret, she called out to her father, who came to rescue her in his kayak. As they fled across the sea, the bird demon pursued them, summoning a violent storm to capsize the boat. In his panic and desperation to save himself, Nuliajuk's father pushed her overboard, hoping to appease the demon. As she clung to the side of the kayak, her father struck her hands with his paddle, severing her fingers one by one. As each finger fell into the water, it transformed into the creatures of the sea. Seals, walruses, and whales sprang forth from her severed digits, populating the ocean. Nuliajuk sank to the bottom of the sea, where she was transformed into the goddess of the ocean, her hair flowing out like seaweed, and her body fused with the darkness of the deep. From her underwater realm, she rules over all marine life, deciding whether hunters will have a successful catch or if the ocean will withhold its bounty. The tangled nature of her hair symbolizes the chaos and struggle of the sea, and it is said that when Nuliajuk is angry, storms will rise and the ice will crack. To appease Nuliajuk, shamans perform rituals and songs to soothe her spirit. These rituals often involve combing her hair, symbolically untangling the struggles of the sea and calming her wrath. Though Nuliajuk is not a being of malice, she is a force of nature that demands respect, embodying the power and unpredictability of the Arctic Ocean. Her story teaches the Inuit the importance of reverence for the natural world, the consequences of human actions, and the need to live in harmony with the forces that shape their environment. The myths and stories of the Inuit offer more than entertainment. They provide insights into a way of life that respects the power and unpredictability of nature. These legends speak of the wisdom passed down through generations, teaching lessons about survival, humility, and balance. As enduring cultural expressions, they remind us that understanding and respecting the natural world is essential not only for those who live in the Arctic, but for all of humanity. The tales continue to resonate, inviting us to acknowledge our place in the world and the deep connection that binds us to nature.